How's it going, everybody? In this video, we're going to talk about how to grow your podcast to over 40,000 downloads a week. Now, this is a great number because if you're using something like Anchor.fm like I do, if you're getting 40,000 downloads a week, you are making over $400 a week, which is awesome. And, if you're doing something that you're passionate about, that you love creating, that $400 a week could be an absolute game changer. So I want to show you some proof first. That's what everyone wants to see. And then I'm going to tell you the steps that I did to get there. And it's going to be a little bit easier than you thought. So let me show you. We'll go ahead and scroll down here. So this is my podcast, Positive Mindset Podcast. Feel free to check it out. It's something I'm very passionate about and love doing. It has over 1.4 million plays, estimated audience. So this is the amount of downloads per episode over the first 30 days that it gets. And I am going to go back on this number here because this is something that's a little tricky. With advertising, you get paid per episode, and there's some things I've done that have actually hurt this number, but it's helped the overall growth. So, we'll talk about that. Unique listeners, I think this is probably one of the most important things. So that's individual eyeballs or ears, I guess, that you get over a 7-day period. So that means 17,000 unique IP addresses have tuned in to the podcast over the past 7 days. And current balance, that's just what it is. It's Sunday morning that I'm recording this, and I just paid out Friday. So that's what it's gone back up to. But this is the chart here on my downloads. So the past week was my best week, and this is what we did. So let's see if we get a show here. 37,240. So if the growth trend continues, next week I should probably hit 40,000 because the week prior I was at 35, 33. So you can see it's going up. I should be right there, maybe a few short. It might take a couple weeks to get there, but we are trending up in that direction. And so what I wanted to do is talk about the ups and downs. So why certain things went down and why certain things went up. So that way you can understand the changes that I made to keep it growing. So let's dive into this. So the first thing is that right here in the beginning is, let's see if we can start that. It's 2020. I started making random episodes. So I didn't do anything for a long time. You can see the podcast existed way back here, back in, when is this? 2018 is when the podcast actually started. But if you go back and listen to those episodes, it wasn't the Positive Mindset Podcast. I had started a YouTube channel and I would port the audio over and I just did random videos. It wasn't planned. There wasn't anything behind it. It's just, that's when I started the Anchor FM account, and I've left those there. I could probably remove them because it's not really in alignment with what I did. But I mean, if you want to go back, I always like going and seeing people's original stuff. It kind of inspires me. So they are there. But I didn't do anything for a long time. You can see the bubbles is when something was uploaded. So, you can see almost a long gap there, 2018, then 2019. So that's almost a year gap, didn't do anything. And then another year gap almost goes by. So 2020, I realized that podcasting was growing, that it was, to me, a little bit of an easier medium to get into versus YouTube because you didn't have to worry about video and all the other stuff. It wasn't as important, and there wasn't as many people doing it. So I felt like if I could grow in that niche as it was expanding, I would have a chance to expand as well. So I started doing that, but really nothing happened. It was still just doing videos. Those first videos I actually recorded in my car. And I say video because I would take my phone and I have this little holder. I would put it in my car, and then I had a lapel mic that I would attach to my shirt, and I would do my episode while I was driving. So it was kind of like riding with me with some positive thoughts was kind of the idea there. But that didn't really take off because there wasn't a plan or consistency behind it. Then you see the growth. So the growth happened, it really started back in August. So you can see August 26 is when you start seeing the bump go up right there. What that was is I got laid off. The company I was working for, Goldstream, went through bankruptcy, and unfortunately I got laid off when the new company came in. And so from that, I thought about what did I love about my job? What was my favorite thing? And it was helping people in development and coaching. And a lot of the people that I worked with, that I did development plans with, were more successful than I was at their point in their career. And so I knew what I was talking about was good. I was just wondering why I wasn't benefiting from it. And it was because I was not getting coached. I was giving coaching. So I would take a lesson that took me 2 years to learn, teach it to somebody in a week or two, and they would be able to benefit from it. So I decided that's what my podcast was going to be about. I was going to do lessons for myself to help myself grow. So I could go back and listen to it. And I figured other people might benefit as well. Now, I didn't know a lot of people would listen to it, but that was the idea. So when I got laid off, I decided I was going to make an episode every single day, Monday through Sunday. Just never miss, always make an episode. So what that did is that started just creating an abundance of content for people to discover. And as you can see, I started seeing growth through there. Started growing through September. And then October, you do see a little bit of downplay, which we'll talk about that. But that's where the growth started happening. And then what I decided to do through October, October I did the 1 episode a day. And then November, I decided I was going to double it. I did 2 episodes a day. So the first growth came from just creating. I just did more and more stuff because that's what I was going to do. Create. This drop right here later that I would discover is seasonality. So I thought it was because I changed the amount of downloads or uploads I was doing. It was just seasonality. From October usually to January, self-help or positive mindset or fitness in general just go down. I think people get really consumed with their personal lives, what they're doing. Whatever it is, that's what happens. So that went down, but then, the year ended and we shot back up. And once we got into January, I decided that I was going to cut back. I was doing a lot of consulting, so I started getting really busy, and I just felt like so many episodes a day, a week, a month was just too much. It was draining. There was a lot of content to come up with. And I realized something. This number right here really mattered. So if I created 2 episodes a day, I thought, okay, if I have 400 listeners, like unique listeners, then they would listen to both episodes that day. But what ended up happening is I had 1 listener that listened once a day, whether it's the morning or the evening. And so if I put 2 episodes, they would just listen to the one that came out to when they tuned in. And so it was actually cutting down the estimated audience. And so it was hurting my chance to get advertisers at that point. And this was something that I realized that I wanted to create more in. And so I had to figure out, okay, what's the balance of I'm doing this because I feel like it's the right thing to do. It's going to have positive impact and it's quality. And I could monetize it to a point to where it's something I could one day do full time for a living. And so that's when I realized I needed to cut it down. So I cut it down, and you can see here I went to 5 times a day. And it just started staying flat, all the way to May. And then we shot back up again. You know what the truth is why this grows? I actually dropped down to 3 times an episode right in here, or 3 times a week an episode. You know what changed? So you have January to May. So, roughly 5 months. What changed as I made episodes for 5 months. This is the biggest inspiration, I hope. I hope this is your aha moment on how to be successful. The things that you want would have it today if you started 10 years ago and didn't quit. If you want the quickest fix to have something today, start 10 years ago and don't quit. Look on YouTube at the videos you want to create, whether it's a self-help channel, a cooking channel, whatever it is, something on computers, I don't know. Look through those videos and find someone, go to their page. How often do you find someone that has a video that might have 5,000, 10,000 views, and they have 10, 15 videos on their page, and then they haven't posted anything in 3 years? They gave up. That's the difference in someone that has it today and someone that doesn't, is they just don't have enough time behind them to create it. So I just kept going. I could have quit. I wasn't making a ton of money. It wasn't about the money at that point. It was just, this is a habit. This is an energy. This is something that I'm trying to create, a version of me that I'm trying to be. And then it dropped a little bit, which is like heartbreaking when you see your views download, when you see your downloads start to go down. So it dropped, but then boom, it shot up. I didn't change anything other than I was just getting better at it. A couple episodes must have got found by people that spread it. And I just kept doing it. And then I had this huge jump up. So this was bottom point right here was May, the end of May, basically June 1st to October. So from May to October, I doubled. At the bottom of May, I was getting, let's see here, what's it say? 10,000 plays a week, up to 30. So I tripled. From June to October, I tripled my downloads. I didn't change anything. I was doing less episodes. I was doing 3 a week when I was doing twice a day for a whole month. It was the consistency. It was getting better. And I'll show you at the end of this how many episodes I've created in total for this. It doubled. But then we hit October. And as I said, what happens in October is in this industry, for some reason, people stop engaging in stuff that benefits them and their energy goes elsewhere. It happened last time and it was not as big of a drop, but that's what happened again. So October, numbers start going down. I really start getting worried. I think, okay, maybe I was a one-hit wonder. I just am falling off. Maybe my content isn't good. Maybe I'm doing something that people just aren't receiving well. And the self-doubt starts coming in. And the self-doubt comes from getting your pleasure from these results. And you shouldn't. Of course, it's going to feel good when you have a video or a download go viral. When you create something and a lot of people receive it and they enjoy it, of course that feels good. But if that's where you get your happiness from, you're not going to get that every single time. You're going to be a very upset person. So the satisfaction has to come from the internal being, meaning I have to love my day. I have to love waking up and creating something as part of my day to be happy and fulfilled, not if 10,000, 40,000 people see it and receive it and like it. Because once you can commit to that, to loving your day that you will do for 20 years, you will have success. And I don't mean success in material success. You might have that. You probably will. But you'll have internal success. You'll be internally happy at the version of you that you have created by doing that. So again, I'm hoping that by the end of December of 2021, when January hits, things will get better. And sure enough, it did. We hit January and boom, we shot right back up to a new high. And it has been continued growth ever since. There's been one thing I've changed. So there's been consistency. There's been improvement. There's been, me just getting better from doing more and more episodes. But right here, I made a really conscientious change. I gave the money that I'm making a purpose. So I want to help people. I love doing it. That's why I like working in fitness. I love creating positive experiences for people. I know the world is crazy. Your job may not treat you right. Your family may not treat you right. Your friends may not treat you right. So a lot of people go through the world just not getting positive reinforcement or positive influence. And I love creating that for people. So eventually I want to do this full time so I can focus on it solely, get better at creating these experiences. So that's what the money's for. And then eventually I want to create brick and mortar locations. So that way people all over the world have somewhere they can go that's positive and uplifting for them. Whether it's a gym or a healing center, whatever it comes up to be, that's what I want to do. And when I gave this purpose, the inspiration for other ideas of how to grow the podcast has come even more. I'm back to doing 5 episodes a week, but they're with purpose. I'm not tired. I have infinite ideas because the purpose is aligned with it. So if I could give you anything in this episode, it's commit now to being the person you wish you were 10 years from now. Because if you want something now, you'll probably want it then. There's no quick fix that's going to really fulfill you. There's no quick fix guarantee. But if you just started doing what you want to do now, 5 or 10 years ago, I guarantee you would be an expert at it and you would be living the life that you want to live. So I want to show you how many downloads it took to get to this. I mean, not downloads, how many podcast episodes it took to get to this. So we're going to go into my Spotify account here. I'm going to go to home and let's see, I forget where it's at. I think it's you go to catalog right here and then go to the Positive Mindset Podcast. And right here, 437 episodes to make over $400 a week. That's what it took. So be consistent, commit to being the version that you need now, like commit to being it now so that way 5-10 years from now you can have it. And then you'll hit 1.4 million downloads. You'll do it. You'll have a bigger audience. You'll have more unique listeners. You'll make more money. I mean, if I go to my money over here, this is hopefully inspiring to you. I've made almost $20,000 through Anchor. This doesn't even include the external sponsors. It's over $20,000 when you include them. So, commit to it. If you look at my YouTube channel, this is what inspires me. I only have like 500 subscribers right now, and the average video gets like 30 or 40 downloads. But I know that I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep making it, because the best thing you can do, if you want to be like a great person or whatever that means to you, the best thing you can do is become the version of you that you want to be, and then give it to others. Well, if you like this video and you want to stay along for the ride, subscribe. A like helps it become more discoverable, so I appreciate it. But I hope you're having a great day. Stay tuned for the next one, and I'll catch you later.